Hello. I wanted to take a moment to address something that has been weighing on my heart for nearly 2 years, and that is the public perception of Gus Walz. Now, I want to preface before I continue the Walz family, save one member, likely doesn't even know my name. However, for nearly 2 months, I knew Gus. I went by a different last name then, but when Gus was a freshman in high school, he was in my world history class. He sat at the middle table with a bunch of volleyball kids. And I remember being so nervous when I saw his name on my roster because it's a big deal when the governor's son is in your class. No pressure, right? But I wanted to ensure that the class felt and was normal for him, just like any other student. So when it comes to Gus, the media has controlled the narrative, right? And honestly, they have committed, in my mind, a profound disservice to a bright and capable young man. And yes, he may be a little neurodivergent, but the moment, the convention that is often cited to solidify in the minds of America that Gus Walz is disabled, that moment was not abnormal. It was just beautifully and purely Midwestern. And it is exceedingly clear that too many people don't understand that. Major media outlets are run out of the coasts. And I think we have a different emotional comfort level in the Midwest than may exist on the coasts. Because the way Gus beautifully reacted to his father at the DFL convention was not weird, nor did it prove neurodivergence in any way. Because in this part of the country, we wear our hearts on our sleeves. We cry at the end of Pixar movies. It's what we do. If we're watching an awful, off pitch choir concert that our kids are performing in, we are weeping baskets. It's what we do. The women do it, and many of the men do it too. And that's okay. Now, it isn't universal in the Midwest, but it is much more common than you think. And let's be real, Tim Walz is both a Minnesotan and a teacher. So I would surmise that he has shed tears of pride for Gus and Hope over the years, which is a lovely gesture of caring and support that his children were likely taught to emulate. So, does Gus Walz crying in pride for his dad signify a major mental disability? Not in the Midwest, it doesn't. Now, it's not my place to discuss where Gus's diagnosis sits. However, what I can say is that from the perspective of one of his past teachers, Gus Walz showed remarkable academic promise. And in the month and a half that I taught him, I remember encouraging him to move from regular world history into accelerated. Um, Now, ultimately, as I said, he was only in my class for a month and a half. There was a schedule change. I think it was an elective. It was several years ago, so I don't remember off the top of my head. Um, but his schedule changed, and he ended up switching history teachers. Nothing about me. It happens. Different class periods. But in the time I had him, I saw a young man who was engaged, tenacious, and undeniably bright. And it has troubled me to see Gus labeled with a capital D disability as if that is his only defining trait. He is first and foremost a capable human being. Not that, by the way, there is anything even remotely wrong with disabilities of any form. Now, it didn't feel right speaking or posting publicly about a student while he was still enrolled at Central High School. And when he graduated last spring, he had worked so hard. He earned his diploma. I was so proud watching him and all of last year's seniors walk across the stage at Roy Wilkins Auditorium. I cried. Now, today, Gus is an adult. And I don't want the only narrative about him to be misconstrued by coastal media outlets that don't understand the basics of how Midwesterners show love towards their family and people they care about. I want somewhere a record to exist for his future employers and for the public that speaks to his strengths and character. I know this isn't much. I'm pretty much an unknown entity here on YouTube, but I don't know, at least this is somewhere. And maybe when Gus someday is applying for jobs down the road, there will at least be some benefit to this other narrative existing. And the way that their family has been treated through this process is utterly egregious to me. I hope that through all of this, they can find peace, because even though I only knew one member of the family, you can tell from the kindness that he showed to his friends and the respect he had for his teachers that he was raised by good people. And so, to the media outlets on the East Coast, I challenge you, loosen up. I dare you. Show love to your family with the abandon that we do here in the Midwest. And you'll find it isn't weird at all. It's wonderful.